Hello seekers and searchlights, my name is TB Skyen and, well, I had oral surgery recently, and I am under dentist's orders not to talk at length too much. This is a problem, as talking at length is quite literally my channel's brand trademark. I am not in a position to just take time off. The algorithm, that ravenous beast that knows no sleep nor rest, requires feeding, and videos are the only sacrifice that will appease. So, say hello to Microsoft Zira, who will be filling in for my voice in this video, or until my face stops trying to kill me for opening my mouth too wide. Robot voices can be grating, sorry Zira, I know you try your best, so I am providing these subtitles in case you would rather watch the video on mute. One Punch Man is a strange beast of a manga. Created originally by the artist One as a gag webcomic, it ran for long enough and gained enough of a following on the strength of its writing, and the relentlessly ambitious creativity of its author, to attract the attention of one Yuzuki Murata, who had previously best been known as the artist behind American football sports manga, Eyes Healed 21. Now while it's hard to deny that Murata and his assistants are more accomplished artists than One, and it is certainly Murata's art that formed the foundation for the eventual anime adaptation, it is One's creativity that lies at the heart of the series. Their writing and humorous insight is the thing that elevates One Punch Man from a single joke comedy skit to a character study with real weight and depth of feeling. One has also grown by leaps and bounds as an artist since starting One Punch Man, demonstrating one of the most important lessons that an artist can learn, which is, just make stuff. The stories you have in your head have value and can make things happen in the world if you put them out there. That is not to say that they are guaranteed to be successful, but that you should not let the smothering blanket of perfectionism, of not being good enough yet, dig the grave that your creative soul will be buried in. We will eventually talk about the most beautiful panel in the whole manga, but stay with me for a moment as we lay some groundwork. One Punch Man is a joke manga about a guy who is so strong that he kills all his opponents with one punch, which frustrates him because he became a hero to have fun and enjoy himself, and one punch fights are boring. That is the joke. It is a clever little riff on the comical power creep that eventually drags most shounen manga out of the realm of comprehensible stakes and into repetitive power battles that lack the weight of tension behind them. I am looking at you Dragon Ball, and especially you Bleach. What elevates it from being merely a joke, however, is the branching web of insights that One ultimately builds from the comedy premise into exploring deeply relatable human feelings of depression, ennui, burnout, and existential emptiness. Saitama is a man who has theoretically achieved the heights of accomplishment in his field, i.e. being really strong and punching things super good, but that accomplishment has alienated him from everything that drove him to strive for it in the first place. And we see this reflected in the portrayals of his life throughout the story. He lives in a crummy apartment, shops for coupon discounts and slacks around playing video games, alone, with no friends and no interests outside of his disappointing job as a hero. Take away the superheroics and his life looks mediocre and aimless, because that is what it is. The next layer of the thematic onion that makes the stir-fry of One Punch Man so savory then, is the social satire of heroism as a whole. The members of the Hero Association are ranked into stratified hierarchies, and save for a very few exceptions its members are obsessed with those ranks. The heroes of One Punch Man are constantly jockeying for position, constantly sniping at each other and working out schemes and generally striving to rise in the ranks of the organization. They do it for various reasons, but they clamor for power all the same. They aspire to the top of that vaunted S rank. In that respect they are distressingly similar to the villains, who are often driven by that exact same obsession, and One Punch Man is not shy about calling out this hypocrisy. A recurring joke of the series is that Saitama's hero costume looks, well, really kind of lame. The costume and Saitama's design are both references to a Japanese children's book series called Anpanman, which features a superhero with a head made of pastry, but the series repeatedly uses the simplistic and childish design of Saitama's suit to visually separate him from the world of superheroes. Even in the Hall of S-rank heroes where, theoretically, he belongs more than anyone, he looks out of place and ridiculous. The goofiness of his presence and design relentlessly undercuts the self-seriousness of the other heroes simply by existing next to them, in much the same way that his ridiculous power level undercuts the self-seriousness of every opponent he defeats with a single punch. Saitama has what almost every other hero and villain in the series strives for: absolute, godlike, undefeatable power. He should embody glory, recognition, and perfection. He should embody happiness and comfort. But instead he is this. A demonstration that the end goal of all this struggling, all these political schemes and machinations, all this self-aggrandizing organization building and social stratification, all the stepping on others, the deceit and ambition, it all just leads to this. Which brings us on to the most beautiful panel in the series. Saitama alone on the moon, upside down and looking down at a distant Earth below. He is on the moon because he was punched there by an intergalactic warlord, who came to Earth looking for someone or something to challenge him. Boros, that's the intergalactic warlord in question, is the quintessential superhero nemesis, a dark reflection of the hero embodying the hero's worst qualities. You'll get villains like this in every other Marvel movie, because overcoming a shadow of who the hero could become if they go bad is a trope as old as time. Like Saitama, Boros has achieved the heights of accomplishment. He is powerful enough to destroy planets and utterly unchallenged in his position. Remember how I said Saitama should theoretically have embodied the glory of reaching the pinnacle? Well, here is someone who does, lord of his own flying kingdom, waited on by servants and decked out in royal regalia. But Boros too is bored, and destroys an entire city just for the hope of someone strong to fight. Everything about him is set up to be Saitama's perfect nemesis, his dark mirror opposite, the greatest challenge of his life as a hero. And then Saitama kills him with one punch. Early on in the series, Saitama has a dream. He dreams that he is attacked in his apartment by powerful foes, invaders from the subterranean kingdom who fight him to the very edges of his ability and power, driving his heart to pound with passion and excitement. Then his alarm clock rings and the dream is over, and the real subterranean king and monsters turn out to be complete wimps. Funny joke. Haha. Boros arrives as a reminder to be careful what you wish for. He is Saitama's dream turned up to 11 and then some. I don't think it is a coincidence that his powers and hair resemble a Super Saiyan. And then this cosmic invader, intergalactic warlord, dark mirror of our hero, perfect foe and villain, this promise of a desperate struggle, dies in a single punch. And as Saitama walks away, bitterly disappointed, Boros taunts him one last time that he is just too strong. Too strong for anyone and anything on Earth. Taunts him that he will never, ever, find the challenge and excitement that he needs. That his life will always be empty. That he will remain the man on the moon, gazing down at a world full of passions he will forever be alienated from. The moon panel was not in one's original manga, nor was the interlude of Boros punching Saitama up there. It was added by Murata and his team, probably at least in part as yet another of their incredible art flexes. Zira can't vary her delivery but just pretend she shouted that line with excitement at Murata's incredible art flexes. Now, it is entirely possible that an art flex is all this panel was ever supposed to be, but whether intentional or accidental, it is to me a Rosetta Stone for what makes One Punch Man more than the sum of its parts. Because it encapsulates what it is that Saitama and Boros are really fighting over. They are both of them alienated by the scale of their power, they are both of them bored and frustrated, and desperate for the thrill of just one more really good fight. They are fighting not to be the man on the moon anymore, to come back down to Earth if even just for a second and feel alive again the way that they used to. By the end of the fight, only Boros gets what he wants. Saitama wins the fight, but loses the battle, and remains the man on the moon. And all of it is, to me, encapsulated so perfectly in the sudden, deafening stillness, confusing perspective and visual metaphor of this one beautiful panel. This is Saitama's struggle, it is what makes him a good character, even though logically he should be too overpowered to ever find relatable. Because while I have never been Alexander the Great, weeping when he realizes there are no more realms left to conquer, I have definitely been this. Upside down in a dark void of nothing, staring down at something that used to excite me and fill me with joy, and feeling infinitely far away from it. Alone. Now, as the series goes on it develops Saitama's character, and through connections with his growing cast of companions and friends, he begins to find new things to care about in life. Especially his friendship with King, who quite literally tells him to get over his obsession with finding fulfillment only in being a hero, and provides him challenge by beating him at video games, helps break Saitama out of his existential emptiness, and the series certainly has a lot more to say than just what we have talked about in this video. But still, if I were to try and explain what draws me to One Punch Man as a great work of fiction, rather than just a funny joke comic with incredible art flexes. Again, please imagine Zira shouting that, this panel is still that. A man on the moon. Seeing the world he used to be a part of, drifting away from him into shadows. Anyway. Please read the One Punch Man manga, it is really good. Well, except for the bits with Pori Pori Prisoner, who is just an entirely awful homophobic stereotype. And also except for a few other bits that kinda suck. Sigh. Nothing is perfect. Hey, thank you very much for watching, and sitting through the robot voice delivery. I am trying a few things while my mouth recovers, and this is one of them. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button, maybe also comment and, hey, subscribe if you feel like it. This video is almost certainly going to do worse than anything else I make because of, well, the robot voice, so I could use the help with the algorithm. Outside of that, if you want to support the channel more directly, I have a Patreon, a merchandise store, and a tip jar. If you want to use them, I will be grateful for the help, and if not, that is completely okay as well. At the end of my videos, however, I do try to emphasize that if there is online content you enjoy, then please consider supporting it directly whenever you can, and with whatever you can. A $1 donation can quite literally be the same as thousands of monetized views on a video. Especially in chaotic times, when advertisers are pulling their ads from online platforms, online content creators depend more and more on the direct support of the people who enjoy their work, in order to be able to continue doing it. So again, if you have $1 that you do not need yourself, consider donating it to a creator who brings some joy into your life. Anyway, thank you again for watching, please remember to wash your hands, and if you are going to be around people, do them the favor of wearing a mask to protect them.